Riz Ahmed just gave the best interview I have ever used to type someone. Most people who watch him in the interviews thinks that they know his type immediately. High energy, passionate, opinionated, and extrovert, right? But is he? And that gap between the archetype we play, so our persona, and our actual self, that's exactly what we're going to be talking about today. So I will just go directly to the video.
The comic timing in this, you are hilarious in this show, can I just say? And I love that you're willing to do self-deprecating humor. A lot of short jokes in this show.
Yeah.
Was that with your approval?
Self-deprecating humor reminds me of external drive, tribe motivation.
Encouragement? Did you have to sign a contract?
I guess comedy is just something I love. Like my first ever music release was a comedy
Okay, comedy. He's using comedy to cope with life.
rap song called the Post 9/11 Blues, right? And it had lines in it like post 9/11, watch your back. I farted and got arrested for a chemical attack. You know, it's just this really silly, playful thing. And it ended up getting banned from radio airplay on the BBC. And it was like a whole news thing. It was like Channel 4 News, The Guardian. It was like, you know, this rapper's getting his song banned for it being politically sensitive. It was so interesting. And I thought, wow, this thing, comedy, is so powerful. Because you can say the unsayable, you can reach lots of people, and it's truly subversive. And so I'm a huge fan of comedy. And I think in the UK,
that's what we see, tribe-oriented people, and we see comedy as our weapon. If it is necessary, it is extremely powerful. That's exactly why we use comedy. It is passing through any kind of ego. It is just, that powerful. That's why tribe-oriented people are usually using comedy.
UK, the thing for many people, they identify me for, yes, there's Star Wars and all that, and that has a certain prominence, but Four Lions has a special place in people's heart. So I was just really eager to get back to doing comedy. And I think so often, for all of us, we're kind of asked or forced to live in these spaces that can be slightly joyless. You know what I mean? Like, we're kind of living on this kind of fault line, and we're front line in these kind of like hot button topics and issues just by dint of our existence in this body and this time and this place. And it's like, where's the joy? Where's the laughter? Where's the kind of, there's something so liberating about that. You know what I mean? And you can deal with the stuff, you can say the thing, but you can do it and enjoy it. And there's something so empowering about that. And I was just really, really eager to get back to doing comedy. And, people who know me know that, I'm just all about the banter. And
there's a lot of banter in this with you and Guz. It's, for those of you who have not seen it,
in general, in almost every interview, the vibe I'm getting from him is this liberation talk. He has to be independent. That's what I'm getting from him. And that is usually related to being a generalist rather than a specialist.
Riz plays an aspiring young actor, Shah Latif, who goes for an audition for James Bond, and then it leaks to the press and people think he's going to be Bond, and it's a lot of chaos. But you said in a recent interview that Bait is not actually about an actor trying to be James Bond. It's actually about the gap between a person's public persona and their actual private life and private personality. And that's something that we all deal with. Just unpack that a bit for us.
Yeah, I think so. I think we all have that, right?
Yes, we all have that, but why is he talking about this? This is going more into his MBTI type, his objective personality type, so I will leave that for the next video that is gonna come. Yes, he knows what he's talking about. This is exactly what I'm seeing. The persona he creates, the archetype he's playing, the social self that he has, and his actual personality type. I think there are quite some conflicts in there.
Whether you're an actor, someone in the public eye, or whether you just happen to have an Instagram profile, right? Or you're on TikTok or in social, or you have LinkedIn or whatever it is, or you're on Zoom calls, there's the version of you in frame, the version of you that's on camera, that's perceived, the version of yourself do you like to present to the world, and is the kind of chaotic, vulnerable mess that all of us actually are as human beings. And in a world where we're constantly being perceived or asking people to look at us, but not really see us, we all want to be looked at, but we're afraid to be seen. We all have that massive gap between our public and private selves. And somebody said something to me that was interesting, which is like, the gap between your public and private self is the amount of shame that you carry.
Yes. Who is thinking about this kind of stuff? That is a question. Thanks to Mehdi Hasan, thanks to Zeteo, we now have this interview, which is amazing to type him. I really recommend to watch it. And if you haven't already, please also watch Bait, because it is extremely funny and it's also very useful to type Riz Ahmed. I know his type is not going to be easy to see for most people. That is why I wanted to give them some time. He will be the next celebrity MBTI and objective personality typing video after Richard Gere. So see you there.